And we are live. Let's do this. Let's get this done. Let's not get this done, but let's talk. Let's see, let me get my tea over here while you guys are joining. It is one of those days for me. I have a sick little boy, so I am just out of the shower in mommy clothes that can cuddle with him and take care of my little boy since he is sick. That's all he wants is cuddles, 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 cuddles. Okay, so this is the mom version of Alexandra, who is the founder of Life With Herpes. All right, so welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to be here with you. One of the things that we talk about here are what it's like to live with herpes, what it's like to be diagnosed with herpes, what it's like to date with herpes, how to be intimate with herpes, how to do things with your mouth or receive things with your mouth, or just be intimate with a partner. So a lot of times I get questions about disclosing. A lot of times I get questions about rejection. I get a lot of questions about natural remedies to help prevent outbreaks or help support an outbreak. I get questions about things topically you can use to help support your outbreaks. So anyways, I have them all there. We can talk about them. If you are new to me, welcome. Like I said, I go live as often as I can. I like to say I go live daily, but that doesn't always happen. I'm the founder of Life With Herpes. I've been talking publicly about this since 2017. I was diagnosed with HSV-1 oral in 2003 and HSV-2 genital in 2011. So I've been living with this for decades. I've dated with this. I have gotten married with this. I have had a baby with this. I have lived my life. I have had outbreaks. I have not had outbreaks. There are all sorts of things that I have done through this. So that's my point here and my goal. And I just want to be able to support people who have been diagnosed with herpes and are living with that. So it can be a difficult situation and it can be a difficult shock when you first find out. If you are new to this, if you're new to watching me live, I get hundreds of questions. I do my best to answer them in the order that they come. So now that we're early on in the live, it's your best opportunity for me to answer them. So go on ahead and start asking your questions. Also, if you are not following me, like I said, I talk about this as often as I can. I go live. I have thousands of videos. I have thousands of videos on YouTube. I have tons of videos here on this platform and other platforms. So if you, I love the follows just so that I can support you. If you know someone that has herpes, definitely share my information with them, share this information with them, share Life With Herpes with them. That way they can find me on whatever platform is their jam. All right. And guys, thank you for the hearts. Always fun to see hearts. So I appreciate that. My biggest fear is not to give it to my husband. Yes. So, of course, nobody wants to give it to anybody. Of course, you don't want to give it to your spouse. My personal, just how I feel about it with especially my husband doesn't want it, obviously, but he's at the point of I want to be with you. I love you. So I'm okay with the risk is how he personally feels. Do we have sex when I have outbreaks? No. Are there times that we could not have outbreaks? Yes. Does it get frustrating? Yeah. But do I love him and he loves me? And are there other times in a marriage or relationship or whatever that you can't be intimate? Absolutely. So especially if you're in a committed relationship, that person is with you because he or she wants to be with you, not because of anything other than that person genuinely loves and cares and wants to be with you. So as long as your partner is aware, this is all in my opinion, as long as your partner is aware, as long as your partner has made that decision on his or her own that they are comfortable with this, then I would say that you're good to go. Of course, do what you can to prevent transmissions. Of course, nobody wants to transmit this to a partner, but your partner is there and wants to be with you. I should have married someone that had it so it wouldn't be so hard to be intimate. I wouldn't say that. I would say never settle. And if you're married to the person that you love, then that's the person you love. I would say that there may be intimacy problems regardless of having herpes. Intimacy is it's such a taboo and it's such a hard thing because it's don't do it, shame, shame, shame. Oh, don't do it. We know what type of person that does it, right? And then you do it and then you're well, how am I supposed to act, or what do we do? And there's so much. So I would recommend, if this is a problem in anybody's relationship or marriage, I wouldn't necessarily blame herpes for it. I would look at the bigger picture and say, what is deep down rooted blocking me from this? Is there something else going on? And potentially seek an expert to support you. I just posted on Instagram a podcast I was on where they were talking about stigma and shame within religion and intimacy. So I recommend checking that out. I was on that podcast as well. How did I get it? Great question. How did Alexandra get herpes? The short answer is I had sex. But that's like kind of the a-hole way to answer it. By no means do I mean that. So number one, I have HSV-1 oral. I was diagnosed with HSV-1 oral in 2003 when I was 20 years old. I went on a date, and my date had an active cold sore, and he kissed me goodnight at the door, and I kept backing up like, oh, and like I got, like up against the door and couldn't go anywhere, and he kissed me. So there we have it. That's how I got HSV-1. I'm not saying I'm a victim by any means, but that's how that happened. Number two, HSV-2, I got it when I was dating someone and he didn't know that he had it. So when you have someone that doesn't know that he or she has it, if they don't know, they don't know. He said he got tested. What happens is HSV is not included in the tests, and so you may be tested for other STIs, STDs, but not HSV. And so you get negative results, and then boom, you don't know you have herpes. So that's how I got that. Great question, though. Back to Rika, who with her marriage and herpes. Yes, your spouse loves you and you love your spouse. Don't let this like herpes thing get in the way. There's other ways to be creative. There's other ways to be intimate. Can you only have one outbreak and never have another one? Absolutely. There's many people. Like my first oral outbreak was when I was 20. My second oral outbreak was when I was 34. So it was 14 years later. It can be years, decades in between, or there's unfortunately people have it back to back. I hear my son. So we might go for a walk. How many outbreaks do you get on average with taking Lysine and supplements? So that's a really loaded question. So I get outbreaks when, depending on my cycle. So a lot of times when I'm ovulating, I'll get outbreaks. Not every month, but a lot of times that's when it is, just because my hormones change. With HSV-1, I haven't had an outbreak in years. So for me with the supplements, when I feel a tingle, I will take it, as well as I believe it helps speed up the recovery. Can you have sores internally? Yes, you can have them for women, you can have them on your cervix, you can have them internally as well. Guys, thank you for the follows. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for sharing. Ways to avoid outbreaks. I would look at your lifestyle. I would look at, are you a stressed person? Are you not getting enough sleep? Things like that. So stress, sleep. Also, do you have any other like health issues going on? So for example, that might lower your immune system. Are you fighting something else? Your immune system is lowered when it's fighting something else, and then it's going to focus on that, not herpes, right? That's what can cause outbreaks. I would say look at arginine foods that are high in arginine. I have other videos on this. You can check them out. So high arginine foods are coconut, the meat and the milk, nuts, chocolate. Those are just the big ones. Alcohol lowers your immune system. I'm not saying don't drink. I'm not saying don't have chocolate. I had chocolate ice cream with my little boy yesterday. Like, I have all these things. It's these things can trigger outbreaks because they're high in arginine, and arginine fuels the herpes. How did I get it? My partner didn't know that he had it. Hello, new here. I have herpes on my lips, and if I have an outbreak, can my husband get it as well? Only if you have it orally and you kiss your husband, he can get it. However you use your mouth with your husband, he can get it there. So if you have it up here and you want to do things down here, that's fine, right? It's however you use your mouth. So he can get it obviously when you have outbreaks, but also there's a thing called viral shedding, and so that can happen unbeknownst to the host that they are contagious. Also with my children, do they have it already? You would probably know if your children have it. They would have had an outbreak. But if you want to know for sure, you can go get them tested and see if they have it. My son does not have it, so that's that. Can you safely get pregnant? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had a baby. I had a vaginal delivery. Can you feel them internally? Like, how would you even know? So I don't have them internally, but there's women that do. They say that you don't feel them as often, and so that's why a lot of people will have them and don't know they have it. I've heard it described as like a shock, or they get discharge. If they are internal, can you give birth naturally? You would take the antiviral at that point. I do have a blog post on this right now. If you go to Life with Herpes, I just posted it. It's when I was 9 months pregnant with my doctor, and then my little boy's going to come in. And we talked about all these things. Yes, you can have a vaginal birth. Your doctor will most likely put you on the antiviral. If you have an outbreak at the time, then you cannot. Guys, I apologize. I have to go. My little boy's sick and he's calling for me, so I'm going to go. But thank you for joining me. Is it true oatmeal can cause outbreaks? Oatmeal is high in arginine, so for some people it may and some people it may not. Best way to protect yourself from getting it. So I would say anything you can do to increase your immune system is going to be great. And you can do your research on Andrographis. There are studies out there that talk about how this can help prevent transmission to the person that does not have it. So if your partner has it and you don't, this can also help. There are studies out there, so go read them and do your own research. All right, I'm not claiming it just for like legal purposes, but go do your own research. All right, guys, thank you. I apologize. I have to run. My little boy, I have a sick little boy. All right, bye. Thank you so much. Oh, pregnancy vlog. Go to lifewithherpes.com and go check it out. I love watching that video. Lifewithherpes.com. You'll see it. Okay, bye, guys. Everything I talked about too is linked in the bio.